went well. We should be live now. Let's give it a moment to share the news that we are live and have everyone join.
Oh, okay. I see it on YouTube.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I still cannot see it. I'm looking maybe in the streams, that's why. Send it to Rachel.
The sound on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, so it seems to be working. That's great.
Yay! We
let's
did it without Fahad.
Yay, we don't need Fahad. Joke. Of course, we need him. Definitely.
True.
Yeah, so Rachel is sending out the info now.
It's allergy season here in Canada.
Oh, that's tough.
Well,
I guess it's the same here.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't have allergies, so I don't recognize it, but like... Hey,
Crater is here.
Yeah, I see the link was posted on the Discord, which is awesome. Twitter as well, hopefully.
Troy, hello.
Not yet on Twitter. Let's give it a moment. Hey, Craig. Hey, Luke. Hey, Troy. We are today just in the duet. Fahad is traveling, so he couldn't join. I'll repeat that in a moment when we start, but we will do a rather quick one because of that, and because also I had quite a busy weekend trying to finish soon so I can go to bed before midnight. Would be healthy. So yeah, but yeah, we'll start. Let's give it like 1 or 2 more minutes. Thank you, Troy, for confirmation that you can hear me. That's always good. Definitely helps with the streams if people can hear the person streaming. Okay, the town hall is also live. The announcement is on Twitter. Perfect. Yeah, that's... Thank you, Craig, for taking your time away from the game in joining us here. I guess we'll start, right? If we have more people joining, more people will join. That's good. So just very quickly, it's just me and Nick today. Fahad is traveling, so he was not able to join. Hey, Lamp. And we will try to do quite a short and concise one this time. Obviously, will depend a little bit on the questions. We have a couple of them already from the Discord. If there be others coming from you, we will, of course, as always, try to address them. But the pre-AMA part should be quite fast. So we will focus today on updates from development and small updates from marketing, as we have the event coming next week, our monthly event. And Nick, I'll pass it straight to you for the development.
Right. So the racing engine, we're working on what I said I'd be working on in the last town hall. So that's mainly 2D interaction. So like lane switching, collision prevention, and trailing and then passing of horses. That's kind of a higher order higher order behavior. So it's a very interesting, and I like where it's going, but it's also a lot of work. So it's really neat. It's kind of the thing I wanted to do, and so that's mainly what I'm working on. But I'm also working on getting together 1,000 pieces of everything that's we've been building on the blockchain. So the blockchain is kind of, we've built a bunch of tools, and now we've got to put them all together to make like a car. So we've got all the parts, but we've got to put them together and have them deployed as a prototype. So that's really interesting. So the features that are being built on the blockchain side are mainly for transaction building, for using the smart contract. So entering the races, scratching from races has been done, and bot functionalities. So a few automated things that need to happen for equine to work, like when we create a new race, it's got to be announced on the blockchain so that we know that the race exists and will happen. And there's one of the steps, basically, when you guys register for a race, it puts all your horses in there. But at some point, the registration is closed, and then we assign the gates, right? So you know where you're going to start in which gate. And so we call that announce gates in a very original way. That announce gates is automated, so it's got to be done by a bot. And it's just prodding the smart contract to get to the state where the gates are announced. So that's also done. And I've minted 200 horses on the testnet, and all the skins twice, and all the jockeys twice, so that we can test everything. So we're going to be moving our whole beta deployment onto the testnet, so that we can keep pushing features, like eventually pushing the smart contract on the testnet, and actually entering horses in a race on the testnet and visualizing it and everything. So we're going to do the whole racing on the testnet, so that we're allowed to test everything and really make sure, while, let's say, the audit is going on for the smart contract. So even though the audit is not going to be finished, we're going to be playing around with the contract on the testnet. So just to make sure that we find any potential issue or issues, and then we can get the whole workflow really deployed, and so that we can test everything before we give it to you guys on the main net. And more will be revealed about the beta later. But yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome. And we don't have a dedicated slide for the art this time, but there are some, because a lot of things are more general optimization, let's call it. From what one thing maybe worth mentioning is that we are kind of finalizing the in-game UI as well, right, during the race, what will be visible and all that stuff. So that's one of the, let's say, bigger developments. And yeah, and let's talk about the marketing. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining in our public contest on Twitter for the Preakness Stakes. We had 90 people that qualified, and the winner from the Twitter picker is Dao Argain. We will contact you directly, so you don't have to DM us. This is to avoid someone faking the account just to try and get the prize. Rachel from our team, or either through the main account, will send a DM. The prize is Racing Silk, so once we get the address, we'll send it. Thank you everyone for joining. Congrats to the winner once again. It was a small fun activity to celebrate the big racing weekend in real life. And then next week we are having our monthly Underground Invitational. So just a reminder for everyone, this is a fan-made game made by Eustacia, which is using equine NFTs, but obviously not using our full engine, our graphics. It's a very simplified but fun game to play. And this round we will have two classes, 137 to 155 total starts, and 56 plus. To continue from the last month, it will be one lap at night. We'll have qualifiers on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday on Discord, run by our great mod team as always. They will announce when the time for the next qualifier starts, and you will have a chance, no matter what time zone you are in, to participate. As usual, we'll do the finals on Sunday live on YouTube, so next Sunday. And as always, there will be the prize, ADA prize, for the top 3 winners in each of the classes. This is just a visualization for the qualifications, but as I said, just if you want to participate and if you have horses whose total stats fit any of those classes, do check Discord for details, and be around when one of the mods will start the qualifiers. And if you qualify, then obviously you will have a chance to win. And yeah, so that was a very quick one, 10 minutes, even a bit less. That doesn't mean things are not happening. There's a lot of things happening in the background, as always. Just not maybe that many spectacular things necessarily to share comparing to the last 2 weeks. But the things are definitely moving. Very exciting about the testnet stuff happening, because that will soon be a very real proof of concept that we'll have. So when we have, I think, 2 questions from the Discord, and Nick, I'll let you take this one on how will handicapping work, handicap races.
Yep. We've been looking at a few mechanical way to do it in the game engine. And we know it realistically, I spoke to Zach, right? Realistically, we know that it's a few pounds or even a pound or half a pound that is added onto the horse, which has effects on a few things. Basically, the horse being weightier, it's going to corner differently. The agility is going to be slightly different. The stamina is going to be affected and everything. So the current the simplest way and the probably the most straightforward and best way to do it would be to simply affect the stats of the horses slightly for each handicap level, and the weight of the horse in the game engine. So that's how we're gonna go. It's gonna require a lot of balancing. So basically, I'm gonna make a test where one horse races against itself with handicap, and we're gonna see like how much we want it to win or to lose against itself with a standard handicap, and we're gonna just balance the game out that way. But so that's the mechanics of the engine. Then there's also game design concerns. Like, is the handicap gonna be between classes? Let's say you've got a class 3 horse and a class 2 race and stuff like that. Do you handicap for a class down? Is that a standard handicap per class, or can any horse join a race and everybody gets handicapped? So there's different game design concerns as to whether that's fun or not, and how that should work, and whether it becomes a game of chance or whether the handicap is fun. So we've got our game designer, who's brilliant, by the way, just looking at that, coming up with different scenarios and what can be fun. And we have our opinions, obviously, so we're still discussing it. We don't have a fixed, foolproof decision yet on how on the game design aspect it's going to be implemented. So that's where we're at, basically. So we know the mechanics, and we still got a few questions about the game design.
Yeah, and I should probably have mentioned that indeed there's a lot of work being done with our game designer, working on heavily updated white paper, still work in progress, but there's a lot of interesting challenges, as you have seen from the discussions in the Discord that we started. We have few things that we want to make sure we discuss and address before the game is out. And then the second question was about jockeys having feedback on the racing preference. So, for example, if if the jockey in this case maybe wasn't the right fit, that's my understanding at least from the comment, then you should say that maybe he should behave differently. So there are two things to say here. We're definitely discussing that a little bit. We understand where it's coming from. It's coming from another game where sometimes those comments are useful, sometimes are not. I think one challenge that I would mention to begin with is that actually, just because in a specific race this horse and this jockey didn't fully complement each other, maybe it doesn't mean that couldn't be the case for a different race, right? So if the distance changes, or if the amount, the number of horses participating in a race changes, because that will have an impact on the performance from the mental stats perspective, right? So among others, right? So basically, that pair could be perfect for certain conditions and maybe not so great for others. So I think that on one hand is difficult to provide, but like we are discussing that maybe we could have some kind of a soundbite or suggestion that sometimes can help, sometimes maybe not, right? Because it's not always the right 100% right answer. So we are not committing to that at this stage, but we will we'll see where we can get that. So it's an interesting question. And yeah, I think that's that. Let me have a quick look at our Discord if there's anything that popped up. Doesn't look like it. Any questions from the chat? Otherwise, it will be one of the shortest, if not the shortest, town hall, which is okay, right? We've done 28 of them. They don't all have to be 1 hour. I'm sure there will be plenty of long ones as well. Okay.
And the long ones are coming.
Yes, there will be a lot of stuff to discuss very soon. Okay, cool. Let's call it a day. Thank you everyone who joined. Thank you everyone who will watch it later on our YouTube channel. As always, thanks for all your support and all your questions, all your discussions that help us make equine better and get us closer to getting the equine ready for lunch. We'll, as always, be around to answer questions in between, but other than that, there will be a next town hall in 2 weeks, and we will have the invitational next week, as mentioned. Awesome. Have a great day, everyone, or evening.
Have a great day.
You are.
Thank you.